Hey everyone, Face here. Well, it's been a little while since I've had the time to get out in front of the camera and do some recording. Doesn't mean I haven't been doing some modeling. I've just been not as busy lately because, well, frankly, I've been very busy at work, so I haven't had a lot of time for it. Mostly, lately, what I've been working on is the 32nd scale Viper Mark II by Mobius Models. It's, as you can see, it's almost finished. It's fully assembled. I've done all the shading. I just need to paint the base coat and then apply the decals, weather, and it's basically finished. It's a nice model. A little disappointing in the detail. The fit, well, let's just say I've kind of spoiled myself with all of the Japanese high-end kits I've been doing recently, like the Macross stuff from Hasegawa, which are absolutely first-rate kits, especially the Valkyrie. The YF-19 had a few issues, but it's a very nice kit, especially for the money, and I highly recommend it. But you will have to spend a little time working on like some seams and whatnot. In this one, though, in the case of this one, there's some fit issues. There's some weird assembly issues. See, this portion of the aft cowling right here is connected to the upper engine cowling, but the front, the intake portions of the engines are separate. So it's a very weird parts breakdown. And if I do another one, I happen to have a second kit, and I'm probably going to do it in a few months. But if I do it, when I do it, I should say, I'm definitely going to separate the upper cowling from the rear engine housings, just for ease of assembly. Because it just makes it tough, because the fit is really tricky. Getting everything aligned is a little tough. Plus the plastic is quite soft. So, you know, you have to do a lot of sanding to get everything, to sort of massage everything together. So you run the risk of losing a little bit of detail. The cockpit is very nice, and I do want to mention the pilot figure. The pilot is cast in resin, which was a bit of a surprise to me. Very, very nicely cast. It's almost completely flash free. Very nicely detailed, far better detail they could ever get from injection plastic. Very accurate from what I can determine. Since the one I'm doing right now is just going to be a static display piece, empty cockpit, open canopy, I wanted to detail up the cockpit, but I didn't want to have a pilot in there. But the figure from this model I decided to play with just kind of as an experiment, and I'll talk a little bit about that another time once I've actually managed to find the figure. In the meantime, once that's finished, I'm kind of, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of leaning away from sci-fi for a little bit. I have been doing a few Gundam kits, so don't go thinking that I'm like totally getting away from science fiction completely. I've done, I think, 3 new Gundam kits in the last little bit. Plus, the main feature I'm going to talk about today is a Gundam kit. But I found this in my stash. This is the 2009 Dodge Challenger. I had bought this. This is from Revell. I bought this probably about a year ago, kind of on a whim because I liked the car. Never really had any plans to do with it after I bought it, but happened upon it while just, you know, cleaning up and figured, what the hell, I want to try something different. So I'm probably going to do that as my next project after my Viper. My next full-on project. But that's not why you're here today. You're here for this. Goddamn Bandai and their huge boxes. This is the 60th scale MS-09R Rick Dom Glorious Grade kit from their Hyper Hybrid model series. It is a big goddamn model. This is essentially perfect grade scale, but if any of you have seen or built the Strike Freedom 60th scale kit with the light up frame and joints, this is the same kind of idea, but far, far more sophisticated. I don't even know how many LEDs this thing uses, but the assembly directions are incredibly complex. Just looking over them at a casual glance, this is not the kind of thing I would recommend to anyone without any kind of experience in electronics. I'm very grateful that I've done a few light up projects myself. I think even I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty with this because there's just so much to do, and it's so different from how I do my stuff. So maybe I'll learn a few things. It should be interesting. But the assembly instructions, 45 pages. And we're not talking like a typical Gundam kit where there's like 12 pages in the middle dedicated to like bio info about the particular mobile suit or, you know, photos or whatnot. No, this is dense, packed, just construction in directions. I mean, seriously, this is one complex model. Like in the entire booklet, there's like not one photograph. I mean, aside from on the cover. It's all like line drawings and whatnot, and very, very dense construction instructions. It's really complex. Anyway, the parts come in 3 boxes this size, about, I don't have a measuring tape handy, but by about 11, 12 inches by 8 inches by about 6 inches deep. The 2 of the boxes have kind of this graphic of a space colony. Now the parts break down. From what I've heard, for the most part, apart from all of the electronics, of course, this kit is basically a scaling up of the master grade kit. So, you know, the parts breakdown is apparently very, very similar. Jesus. I mean, consider the scale. I mean, there's only 4 runners of parts in this entire huge box. I mean, this is the box. This is the same size box as they put some master grade kits in, and it can only hold 4 runners of parts for the fricking Rickdom. That's how big the damn thing is. So those appear to be all the largest armor parts: the torso, the legs, the skirt armors, etc. Now the second box has a nice photo, you can see here, of the Rickdom assembled, and it has a lot of looks like a lot more of the mechanical components. This is the first time I've actually opened the boxes, really, so I haven't even had a chance to look at it. Looks like a lot of joint parts, ball joints. I think there's a lot of screw tightening components on this, not surprisingly. More parts for the hands and a bit for the skirt detail. The feet. Look how big those damn feet are. I mean, I barely have feet that big. These feet are freaking huge. So yes, more feet parts, odds and ends, armor parts for the legs and arms, and wow. Not having had a chance to look through the other box, I don't know if this is even everything, but that is a lot of electronic bits. Oh crap.